Alright, hello and good afternoon everyone. Welcome back once again to another session of F1 Manager. Last session, this was the 5th of May, so it's been a little while. It's been a little while for most of my series in the month of May, but hey, back to some kind of regularity now. Oh, that reminds me actually. Okay, bear with me folks. Bear with me. Let's pop this chat out, shall we? Sorry about that. Okay, so something a little bit different today, because ordinarily, let me just get rid of my preview screen also, because that tends to lag. So there we go, just get that screen open only. Right, okay, so I plan to do a private stream of this, as I usually do when I'm doing this game, because it's a long session, so it's a lot easier than editing and rendering and all that kind of stuff. So a private stream and then upload it at my leisure by making it go live. It seems to work pretty well. But and then I thought on the way home from work, as I'm walking down the 12-minute walk to get to my car, a bit of decompressing time, I thought to myself, why don't I just make it public anyway? You know, I'm streaming regardless. And the past couple of times I've done a private stream, I'm like, I'm missing people to talk to. So you know, I'll treat this as a regular session, aka I'm going to crack on. No flim flam in these kind of ad hoc streams for the people that want to watch it as a regular video. So we'll just dive in. We'll crack on. Of course, I'll interact with you when you're asking questions. But yeah. If I'm going to be doing it anyway, why not just make it live and public? And if I was to drop in and drop out at the leisure, can do so. And at least I might have one or two people to talk to. So that was the premise. We'll see how it goes. And if it works well, I'll do this maybe a little bit more of just the occasional ad hoc stream, maybe at different times, rather than always doing it in the evening, my time. Because some people can't make it. Maybe I might do a morning stream. Who knows? No. You'll get my morning hair. Not a good look. Whereas now I'm dressed in my work attire, so I look probably a little bit smarter than usual. But anyway, here we are. Welcome everybody. Good to see you who's here. Good afternoon indeed. So, Azerbaijan. For those of you that are F1 fans, yeah. Imola was supposed to be this weekend, and I was looking forward to it because Mercedes were bringing upgrades and, you know, kind of changing their concept of their car a little bit, and was it going to work, was it not going to work? I was looking forward to seeing, and Imola have suffered, or northern Italy have suffered some horrendous floods, so yeah, unfortunately they have cancelled the race because, of course, of the issues there. So that is unfortunate. Not because F1's cancelled, but because of the whole situation with the floods. You know, it's quite bad indeed. If you see some of the photographs and the footage, absolutely horrendous floods. So well wishes to all the residents of the areas affected, of course. But yeah, so there's no race weekend this weekend. So. Yeah, onwards we go. So instead we'll have Azerbaijan, and we'll have another F1 Manager stream on the weekend to get your F1 fix. A virtual F1 fix, where, you know, we're following McLaren. So, anyway, this is the qualifying result. This is Azerbaijan. Now, Azerbaijan has a long straight. Top speed is a crucial sort of factor here on this track. And as you well know, if you've been watching the series, this is our weakest link. We're a good car when it comes to corners, but we're a bad car when it comes to straight line speed. We are trying to improve that this season with side pods and chassis and things like that, but nonetheless we're still pretty poor. So in order to offset that, what I've done is I've basically installed a brand new engine into Hamilton and Norris's cars, a brand new gearbox and a brand new ERS system. So they have brand new components to hopefully offset that little bit of a top speed deficit. So we'll see how that works. But it seems to have worked okay, because if you look at the qualifying, Max Verstappen in the Red Bull takes pole position which was well, it was quite a turn up for the Bucks. He's qualified on pole by a decent margin, a couple of tenths, which, considering how close the top 3 teams are across the circuits, qualifying on pole by 2 tenths is quite a significant chunk, almost 3 tenths actually. So he did pretty well there. Now the fastest time of the entire session was Carlos Sainz with the 142.6. That was a 3.5 tenths quicker than the next best time. So he pulled out absolutely off the charts time out of nowhere. Like, oh dear, this is bad news. But he couldn't replicate it in the third qualifying session. Must have been a fluke. One of those moments where you just do something so inspirational and you can't figure out how on earth you did it and you can never replicate it again. We've all had those moments where we're in the zone. There aren't penalties for swapping car parts if you are within your allocation. So you get 4 engines, you get 3 engines, or is it 4? Can we see? Can we see? I didn't see the rest of the qualifying.
The grid
Sorry.
is packed, so there's electricity in the air, but there's no surprise.
We'll have a look in a second. Because this is an unofficial stream of sorts, I have made it so that the quality is as best as it can be, because it's supposed to be a VOD really for people. So it's 1440p, which means the delay is about 15 seconds. So if you're talking to me, I'll see your chat 15 seconds later, just to make you aware. So can we? How do we? Okay, first we'll get to that. But basically, you get, I think it's 3 engines. I think it's 4 gearboxes and 2 ERSs. So as long as you're within that allocation, you can swap and change, mix and match between those, and suffer no penalties. It's when you install another engine outside of that pool, or another ERS, you start to suffer penalties. So we're still well within our allocation right now for all parts. We will suffer penalties later in the season, of course, because we will be getting new engines and stuff. But anyway, right, okay. This is the screen I was looking for. Let's have a look. So engines, yeah, it's 3. You get 3. So I'm using my 3rd engine here, you see. So it's still within the allocation, but it's just brand new. We haven't touched it yet. This message is from the past. Don't be alarmed. It's from Christmas past. This message is from 1985. We have finally caught up with you. ERS you get 2, and gearboxes you get 4. So as you can see, we're kind of using. This is not brand new. It's been slightly used. But yeah, we're within the allocation for both cars. Hence why there's no penalties. For those wondering about the penalty rule when it comes to engines and stuff, because that does happen in real life. People take penalties, and people will purposefully take penalties at certain tracks to get a brand new engine. Mercedes did it in 2021. Cars did it last season. Tend to use these, tend to get new engine parts around about Spa time, because Spa's quite an easy track to overtake on, things like that. Anyway, this race is a very simple race when it comes to the strategy, because it's the usual medium onto hard. Although medium onto hard onto soft is 10 seconds quicker on paper, says our strategy gurus. However, I'm not a big fan of two-stopping in races that have a big chance of a safety car, and Azerbaijan has a decent chance of safety cars because it's a street circuit. So I don't really want to risk going on a two-stop and then being hindered by a safety car. So we'll stick with conservative, medium onto hard with both cars to play it safe. We've got the raw pace that we don't have to do anything too fancy. So we'll play it as safe as can be and just do the usual plain Jane medium hard strategy. Fuel is fine. I'm going to go hell for leather off the line, of course, is the order of business there. That's it. Job's done. So Hamilton qualified in 2nd position, Lando qualified in 3rd, Max is on pole, and after that we forgot to look, but who cares about anything lower than where we are. Let's go. Let's go.
The drivers there lined up on the grid under mostly sunny
I've
skies.
had such a busy day at work today. Literally, I have worked non-stop from 7 until 3:30.
Easily change in the first few seconds of the race.
Now some of you will say, you're at work. What else did you expect? No.
Third place start for this race, but can they turn it into
You're not
a win?
always constantly busy
Everything's been
at
built
work.
to
You have
this.
downtime occasionally. Time for chit-chat. Not today.
This
Oh,
is what you've been waiting
horrendous.
for. It's the Azerbaijan Grand
Okay,
Prix.
we're off. The lights are on. 5 lights.
It's lights
And
out.
we're off
Away
and
we go.
racing. Hamilton is in second position. We'll ride on board with him as the lead. McLaren into the first corner. Ooh, it looks like he's about to take his left tyre off here. As Lando Norris seems to have overtaken Lewis Hamilton. He's on the outside of this corner. Will he make it stick? Max Verstappen's got away quite well. It looks like Lando Norris has got a good slingshot off that corner. He could be passing 2 cars here. He's going past Hamilton. Is he going to get past Verstappen too? He's round the outside. It's a bit tight there, but no, it's side by side, the 2 McLarens. Let's just not have anything too dramatic, if you don't mind. Don't want to see any incidents here between them. We're going 3 cars in a line down this straight here. And look at this, 3 cars into one corner. Surely can't go. And somehow they've got round. And looks like Norris has gone up into first position. High drama here in the opening laps. Opening corners.
McLaren with a great overtake.
7 until 11 for me. Oh dear, that's a long day. Right, anyway, Norris has managed to pull it out of the fire. He's in first place, and he's absolutely streaking away from Verstappen. He's a second ahead within like 3 corners here, as Hamilton is trying to find a way past the young Dutchman, and he'll get him eventually, I'm sure. He looks like he's getting him right about now, in fact. And at the end of the first lap, coming into the final corner, into the long straight, we've got Lando Norris is absolutely streaking clear. Streaking clear. Turn him down, in fact. Just turn him down as the sparks fly. And we're going to turn Hamilton down too. Let's see if we've got actual raw pace here without pushing too hard. So the order at the end of the first lap, as it looked like Verstappen was going to drive right to the back of Hamilton there. We've got Norris in first position. We've got Hamilton in second. We've got Verstappen in third. Carlos Sainz, the lead Ferrari, is in fourth. Perez is in fifth. And Leclerc is in sixth position. It's the top 3 teams in the top 3 spots in terms of the constructors here. As per usual, you've got the Bottas and Gasly Alfa Romeo combo in 7th and 8th. Russell is the lead Mercedes in 9th, and then you've got the 2 Alpines, Alonso and Ocon respectively. But let's forget that and let's have a look at what's happening at the front here as Lando Norris leads Hamilton, who is looking like he's taking a bit of a defensive line here. Still ahead. Don't forget, there's no DRS at the moment. That's when things will no doubt get a bit hairy. In fact, we could probably do with Verstappen pushing, Hamilton pushing maybe, to get a second gap to break the DRS, because there's a very long straight here. A very long straight, and in fact I am going to push.
And think about left lifting coast.
So look at the tyre strategy. We've got a little bit of give on the tyres, not too much, but I'm thinking it's probably more important to get out of the DRS of Max Verstappen. And we're almost there.
If you can, push.
Because if he gets DRS on us, with our lack of straight line speed, I think they'll be cruising past us on this straight. So if we can break that 1 second now, as I've knocked my desk, apologies, then that could help us.
DRS.
Oh, it's been enabled now. Okay, that's fine. Start of the 3rd lap, so we've got to really put the hammer down right now, in fact. DRS will be open down, not this straight, but I think this one. Yes. Hamilton's got it, so he'll get it from Lando, which will hopefully drag us away from Verstappen slightly. It is dragging us away from Verstappen. And it looks like Hamilton is beginning to get into his groove, because he's all over the back of Lando Norris like a rash. But we are just about out of DRS. We'll continue to push with both of our cars for now. As we can see, Verstappen now is 1.4 seconds. We're going to push these guys to the line, I think. But yeah, Sainz is still there, Perez is still there, Leclerc is 2 seconds behind, 1.8 seconds behind Perez. It seems like Charles Leclerc is struggling here in the Ferrari. In fact, he's actually being harassed by Bottas. Something amiss. Leclerc has been a bit of an enigma this season. 2 seconds is the gap now. So once we put the hammer down with both of our cars, we really are on the pace here. This is good to see. So we're going to let our cars now go back into sort of neutrality. 2.2 seconds is the gap to Verstappen. We'll keep an eye on that now to see if we can keep pace. But our 2 cars now are literally line astern, no team orders. They're free to race, and hopefully they'll give us some drama. Not too much, though. Not too much, if you don't mind. Thank you very much. But yeah, Leclerc's been a bit up and down this season. Sometimes he has been really fast, and other times he has been really off the pace. It's been a bit of an enigma, bit of a conundrum. What's up with him? What's up with you, Leclerc? What was the race? Was it? I think it was Miami, wasn't it? It was Miami, where he was electrically fast. We couldn't keep up with him. Okay, we've had a position change here. Hamilton has overtaken Norris for the lead of the race. We'll get the replay in a second. And it looks like Sainz has overtaken Verstappen too. No replay, apparently. Who cares about teammates overtaking teammates? Not worthy of the news, I'm afraid. But anyway, Hamilton is up into first position now, it seems. And the gap is still 2.2 to the cars behind. So we seem to still have a decent pace, even though we're not pushing now. So that's good to see. And Leclerc has been passed by Bottas. Oh dear. Oh dear me. Okay, well that's yeah. I'd be having some harsh words with him if I was the team principal, I tell you. Yeah, pull your finger out your backside and bloody do something, will you? Pull yourself together, man. Pull your socks up. It is an invitation, but this is the thing. When you have 2 teammates that are battling for the championship, you cannot, with good conscience, put team orders on them. You can't. I mean, if they weren't battling for the championship, and it was just purely about doing your best for the constructors, then I agree, team orders. But, you know, when they're battling for the title, you can't impose team orders. It's not fair. It's not fair. Reminds me of the days of Rosberg and Hamilton. 2 teammates in the same car, cars that were fastest on the grid, battling for the title. They tripped over each other many times. And of course they were friends before, and then end up falling out about it, you know. So that's the nature of business, I'm afraid to have to say, as Norris now goes back ahead of Hamilton. This could be the similar situation to the first few laps of Spain, where the cars were switching positions every lap on the main straight, until Norris eventually took a bit of an off-road detour and fell behind, and then he couldn't keep up after that. So, yeah, as things currently stand, Norris and Hamilton switching positions, maintaining a healthy 2.2 second gap to the cars behind, which is Verstappen, Sainz and Perez. Little 3-car DRS train. Verstappen has got back past Sainz, of course. Leclerc, Bottas and Gasly and Russell make up the rest of the top 9, and then Alonso and Ocon and Vettel and Albon and Ricciardo and Magnussen are all in a bit of a train there. And then you've got the slowpokes at the back of the grid. Mick Schumacher and Tsunoda in the fabled Williams car. So, yes. So, there we go. Things are looking quite stable. Let's see if Hamilton passes Lando on the straight once he gets DRS. Of course he will. It's clearly a given. Here you go. Pulls out. Power down. And up the inside of the first corner. Smooth as you like. Smooth as butter. Yeah. So the Azerbaijan Grand Prix was the last race that we had in real life, wasn't it? Seems like it was ages ago now, but I think it was the last race that we had. wasn't the most exciting of affairs, to be fair, but I think Hamilton drove pretty well, to be honest. He got hindered by a safety car. Or a virtual safety car, I think it was actually. He pitted just before it came out, so he lost time, but managed to get back past Russell and somebody else. Ocon, was it? Any chance of rain? Nah. 40% chance, which basically means no chance. So let's have a look at the tyre degradation now. We are out with 81%. We've got cars on soft tyres here. Soft onto hard was a viable strategy as well. It wasn't as quick as medium onto hard though, so I can't understand why people are doing this unless they're doing soft medium then hard, or soft hard then medium, or soft hard soft. I highly doubt they're doing that. But yeah, they could be doing soft onto hard, which doesn't make a lot of sense to me. That's possibly why Leclerc actually seems to be a little bit on the slow side, simply because the cars ahead of him have softer compound tyres. Kind of makes sense now. Even his teammates got soft tyres on. But anyway, that's the situation with the tyres. Degradation's pretty good. Back to the interval split as the two Red Bulls are battling side by side. Wouldn't it be a tragedy if they wiped each other out? Norris and Hamilton. 1.7 seconds is the gap now, though. It was 2.2, so it's slightly coming down. It looks like the cars behind might be starting to push a little bit. Oh my God, what's happened? What's happened to these two? We saw it live, folks. We've got drama, high-speed incident. That's got to be a safety car. That has got to be a safety car. Let's have a look at this one. Bloody hell, fire. It is a safety car. We can't come into the pits. It's too early. Oh, we've missed the replay. I wanted to see what happened. That was a high-speed crash. Very high-speed crash. Right, let's not make a mistake this time. Let's get this down into conserve mode so that we can push off the safety car restart. Hello, Alval. Welcome, welcome. What's my favourite F1 race of all time? Oh my God, no, it's too early to put. Of course, I'm watching the chat that's delayed, you see, so I'm probably commenting and making comments that I'm reading, and I've already answered, you see. But anyway, favourite F1 race of all time. That is a tough one. I've watched F1 for a lot of years. I didn't watch it, you see. You know Brazil, when Hamilton won his first title in 2008? If I'd have watched that live, that would have been absolutely... That would have probably been it. That probably would have been it, to be honest with you. You know, given the high drama and all that. But I didn't watch it, I was at football. So I missed it. So I can't count that. Oh, it's a tough one, is that one? That's a very tough question. That is a very tough question. See, I've supported Mika Hakkinen in the past. I've supported Germany 18. Wasn't that the one where Hamilton started from like 12th or something ridiculous, and then Vettel spun off, and then it rained, and then Hamilton won the race? That was quite a good race. Or was that Germany 19? I know it was 18 because it was. So yeah, it's a tough one, is that one? I'm going to go on to 2-speed. I'm not going to go any quicker than 2-speed because I'm thinking now. You see, I'm thinking about what is my favourite race. Generally speaking, a race where I've shouted at the TV, probably, and got really excited at the end of it. It was 14th. Okay, so it was that one. Yeah, that was a good race. The fact that I remembered it is probably a sign that it was one of my favourite races. The actual race in Monza that year, or was it Oh, that was the year where Netflix were following them for that race, wasn't it? And they both had a nightmare. Yeah, that was that race, wasn't it? Because they had a special livery for that race.
In this lap.
They had a special livery and everything. Yeah, I remember that one. Not top of my
And let's cushion.
glorious moment lists. Why aren't we... We've struggled to recoup much deployment here. Anyway, right, so Hamilton is now the de facto safety car as the safety car speeds off down the straight. Hamilton backing the pack up here, as is customary. It was Monza. I can't remember if it was Monza 18 or Monza 19, but it was one of those 2 years because it was the year where the Ferraris were really quick, and Hamilton won and beat both the Ferraris, but he had to pass them both. One Vettel spun off when they were side by side in the chicane, and then he had to pass Raikkonen, I think, or something happened. And that race was particularly enjoyable for me personally because it was quite a good moment for the championship, but it was also a win in Ferrari's backyard when they were really quick. So that was quite satisfying. That was one of the races where I literally, there's not many where I actually at the end of the race and the guy crosses the line in victory where I actually celebrate. You get in. Not many races bring that out on me because the seasons are very long, you see. So one race victory is one race victory out of 22 or whatever it is nowadays. But there are certain races where I've had that. Mika Hakkinen passing Schumacher when they went round Zonta. That was a good race for me. I celebrated that race victory for Hakkinen because that was quite a pivotal moment in the 2000 championship. He never won the title in that year, but that was that win kept him in it, you see. So that was a good race. I enjoyed that one. And I wasn't a Schumacher fan, so anything that was getting one over and Schumacher was always a big positive with me. So that stands in the memory. Anyway, let's go off board as we are pushing with both of our cars off the safety car restart, and we're going to turn down the ERS, and we're going to keep the pushing on the engine for now, just so that we can continue to pull away from the cars behind. As Perez is, I don't think did anybody pit? Nobody pit in that safety car apart from Sainz, but Sainz was one of the cars that crashed, so he had to pit, really, didn't he? 74% on the tyres. I mean, we can afford to push these tyres a bit hard. Look, we've got plenty of give in these tyres. I don't know why people have been so conservative with their tyres, but anyway, we'll turn them down. Okay. Perez's tyres are going to wear out quicker than ours, of course, so he's going to have to pit sooner. Let's turn down the juice for a bit now. See, that was a prime... What did I say? That was the prime reason that I didn't want to do a two-stop race, because I did say that even though it's quicker on paper to do a two-stop on this race, according to the strategy guide, a safety car like that happens and it wipes you out, because for a two-stop to work and everybody else is one-stopping, you have to create a gap. That gap has now been wiped out, so we would have been completely screwed with a two-stopper here, and that was the reason why I didn't do it. So our decision has already come into fruition. Has been a good one. Anyway, that's 10 laps down, 41 to go. We will at some point start to speed this up, but we won't whilst our two drivers are so close. Our drivers will not be this close for the entire race, I don't think. They will have to pit at different times. Things can happen, of course, mistakes, so they will start to separate. And when that happens, we're hopefully going to have a gap to the rest of the field, and then that allows us to just cruise on to victory. Because our biggest threat was Verstappen, I felt, after the qualifying performance, and he's now out of the race because of a mistake. I don't know who made the mistake, I couldn't see, because the replay didn't show us clearly. But it was either him or Sainz that was at fault. And Sainz hasn't got a penalty, so I'm kind of thinking it was Verstappen that was the... Unless he served his penalty in the pit stop and I missed it. That could have happened, I suppose. But anyway, yes, lap 11, and Lando and Hamilton continue to trade places like a game of tennis, you know, push back to you, and then push back to you, and then push, until somebody decides to not play ball and go for the high smash, which when it's then game over is. But for now, they're just happy to knock it to each other. After you, sir. No, after you. Oh, how kind, but no, after you. Oh, thank you very much, but no, I insist. Lap 11. Leclerc has found his way up to third position. I was on his case earlier. Oh, he's looking so slow and sluggish. What's up with him? Well, he's just been biding his time, you see. More sturdy tyres than the cars behind him. And now that these tyres are beginning to become slower than the mediums maybe, and the safety car bunching the field up, Leclerc has now found his way onto the podium. Lando needs to get out of McLaren in real life. I agree. He's a very good driver. His talents are wasted in a McLaren that's going backwards. Maybe he will replace Hamilton. There were some muted rumours that he was going to go to Ferrari. You know, I'm sure I read that somewhere. But I can't see Ferrari parting with either of their drivers anytime soon. So the only real opening I could see in the top three teams at the moment would be Hamilton leaving, possibly. Maybe Aston Martin, if they remain a top team. Alonso can't go forever, but it's almost like he's had a rejuvenation. So I can't see him retiring anytime soon. He's still enjoying F1. Driving round, one hand on the wheel, watching the TVs, talking to his team. How's Stroll doing? I saw him pull a great overtake there. Smoking a cigar. Whilst doing 200 miles an hour. I've never been Alonso's biggest fan, but I do appreciate a damn good driver, you know. And as drivers get older and older and older, I kind of start to mellow towards them a little bit, because as they get older they tend to be less brash and stuff. Even when Schumacher came back, I was never the biggest Schumacher fan, but even when Schumacher came back I was like, oh well, you know what, it's nice to see an old timer on the grid for old time's sake. So it is quite nice to see Alonso up there, to be fair. He's had some torrid luck with the teams he's chosen. I don't think he's helped himself at times, but he has had some torrid luck with his team choices, so yeah. Who knows if Aston Martin continue to improve at the rate of knots that they have improved from last season to this season. He might have a world title left in him next year. Who knows? Can you imagine that? Alonso wins a title next year in an Aston Martin. Who would have predicted that last season? You'd have got some right odds on that. I'm going to put a tenner on Alonso winning the title in Aston Martin in 2024. I'll give you 2,500 to 1 for that one, mate. I'll take it. I think it, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, definitely. I think Lewis is still in his peak. I think with Lewis, it's very noticeable, and as you watch him over the years, if he's in a car that's not challenging, he will lose his motivation, and he will be outperformed by his teammate on occasion. It's happened when he was with Jenson Button, for example. The McLaren was horrendous at the time. And so he got outscored by his teammate. He had issues with his girlfriend at the time. But when the chips are down and he needs to switch it on, it'll switch it on. As soon as he gets a sniff of a race victory or a title, he becomes another beast. And I think that's true of many top sports people. When the chips are down and they have to find that extra 1%, 2%, they'll find it. And I think he's still got that ability. And as long as he's still enjoying it as well, that also helps. If you're enjoying something, clearly you're gonna be good at it. As the first pitters are now coming in, these are the soft-tired runners. And hello, good evening, or good afternoon, Nagisa. How the hell are you, sir? Welcome aboard this ad hoc stream of F1 Manager, as we are watching our two drivers continually switch positions whilst keeping the rest of the pack at bay right now. But clearly it's far too early for us to pit, so we're just going to continue to watch them go around in circles. I have a work colleague who actually has become a friend now, really, because I see she moved teams last May actually. She was my manager at one point. Then I got promoted, and she became my mentor as a manager, kind of my manager mentor. And then we became quite close colleagues as we both became training managers in the team that I'm on. Then she got promoted, so she moved to a different team last May. But we keep in touch, and I go across to Manchester to see her, and we have a meal out in Manchester and some drinks, and then she'll come across to Leeds. She came across to Leeds last month for drinks here and for some food. So, but she was never an F1 fan, and it wasn't until I actually convinced her to watch it. So I used to talk about it occasionally. When she, what do you do at the weekend? Oh, watch Formula 1. Cars driving around. But I talked to her about it, and then she watched it. I think she started watching it in 2019 or 2020? I think about 2019, 2020. And yeah, she's a big fan now. So I told you, didn't I? Not just cars driving round and round. There's a bit of excitement occasionally. She's a Hamilton fan as well. This is a funny thing, she was a Max Verstappen fan initially when she first started watching it, because he was like the Mercedes were the top team, and he was this, the Red Bulls weren't as quick, and he was, yeah. And then the season after, she was like, I don't like him, I don't like his attitude. She said, see, I told you, didn't I? I told you. I don't like him. But anyway. MotoGP. I've never watched MotoGP. Yeah, F1 can have some shockingly bad races. It really can. And the trouble is, you can always tend to tell when a race is going to be bad, because there are certain tracks that really aren't conducive to racing, and I really think they should just remove them from the calendar, to be honest with you. 22 races in a season is too many for a start. So get rid of. As painful as it is for the glitz and the glamour and the history, get rid of Monaco. It's just not fit for purpose anymore. It's just not. It really isn't. And some of these other street circuits. Please, street circuit city. Let's have a race in every city. London, Las Vegas. Let's just make a race out of it. Street circuit number 52. Anyway, I think we are driving round in circles here, but we're still quite close. So until we have our pit stops, I'm going to not put it on to 2-speed here. Let's have a look a bit further down this field. Anyway, so Leclerc still hasn't pitted. He's 3.8 seconds behind, and I think he might be catching a little bit. Gasly is in 4th position. We've got lots of people that have pitted now, so the order is a little bit higgledy-piggledy. Russell up into 5th at the moment. Alonso in 6th. Sainz, who crashed, is up into P7 now, and he's on the hard tyre, so he should have a bit of life in them left. So his crash might not be so bad for him, because he's made it up now. He will have to pit again, I feel. But he can stick a set of softs on if he's got any sort of worn softs left for the last sort of 10 laps. and have a sprint to the line, possibly. We'll see. It'll be quite interesting to keep an eye on Sainz here for the rest of this race. Yeah, Verstappen crashed out. Tears. Crocodile tears. Sorry, my Dutch friends, or you Verstappen fans out there, but I really do not like the fella. So I have to say, not that it's been abundantly clear during this entire series. The amount of times I've mentioned it. But anyway, I'm not saying he's not a damn good driver, because he clearly is. But I still think he's got that little bit of petulance in him. But then I suppose a lot of drivers at the top have that kind of streak. I think it's because he's young. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, he's like still only 23, 24, isn't he? It feels like he's been in F1 for a very, very long time. But then when you look at how old he is, he's still only like 24. He was in F1 as a very young person. So I think that's, you know, if you look at random 24-year-olds on the street, they're going to be petulant and stuff because they're 24. They're still a baby. I wish I were flipping 24, I tell you. I don't know. Would I do anything? Yeah, that's an age-old. Another safety car! Hang on a second, folks. We've got drama. You're on the third Harry Potter book in French. Harry has so much more sass in the books compared to the films. I love it. Yeah, this is why I've said we're going to clearly come into the pits now. Hang on a second. Hang on a second. We have to assess this situation. It's still too early to go onto a one-stopper here, to come in for hard tyres. So the question I ask you all now, as my strategic people in the chat, is do we put on a set of hards now and then strap on a set of softs at the end? Would that be quicker than staying behind the safety car now and then coming in for our one and only stop? I think it's going to be quicker to stick on a set of hards now and then stick on a set of softs later, even if it means that we have to stick on that set of softs under another safety car or even under full racing conditions. Because the soft tyres, we've got a brand new set of soft tyres available to us for a start. And also, the soft tyres are about 1.5 seconds per lap quicker than a set of hards. The offset of time between the compounds is big on this circuit. Hence why two-stopping was deemed quicker. Because even just sticking on a set of softs for 10 laps is going to be far quicker than people trundling around on worn hards. We could split the strategies and do one person to stick out on hards, one person just stick now as they are and just continue with one stop and put the other car on a two-stop. Oh, exciting times now. Exciting times. This is almost essentially a free stop. So it shouldn't be a debate. Should it? It shouldn't be a debate. This is a full stop under safety car. You lose about 12 seconds. It's a free stop. How far are we ahead? Let's go with, not with interval, let's go with full leaderboard. So we'd come out round about 8th. But don't forget, these guys have to stop also. So we're not in 8th. We're probably... No, the more I'm looking at this, the more this is a no-flipping-brainer. This is a no-brainer. The trouble is we have to stack them, which is the issue. So if we're going to do this strategy, we'd bring Norris in to do a two-stop, and Hamilton would have to stick out and do a one, unless we're willing to stack them, which I think we are. Because I think this strategy is clearly quicker.
Safety car, safety car.
It's clearly this is going to be clearly a quicker strategy. I'm almost certain now. I'm going to do it. Even if it means double stacking, I think even stacking them is going to be quicker than not pitting now. In for a penny, in for a pound. This is what's brought the safety car out. Let's have a look. It's the rookie Vesti. The F1 rookie has forgot to press his brake pedal and has gone straight into the barriers and brought out another safety car.
And the team had such high hopes.
The team are in absolute uproar. Right, we're off. We're off and we're going. Right, so we've got a safety car. We're going to bring both our cars in. We're going to stack them. And we're going to use this to switch to a two-stopper now. I think it's going to be quicker. And if it isn't, I'll eat my hat. Do I have a hat? I've got a pirate hat in my wardrobe that I used for Monkey Island. I'll get that out and I'll eat it if this does not yield us a race victory. Anyway, pit crew ready? Double stacking. No muck-ups, please. No pressure. I didn't want to go into conserve just in case we go slower on the in-lap to the pits. If that makes sense. I want to get the pit stop out of the way first, then go on to the conserve. I just wanted to maximise as much speed as I possibly could for the pit stop. Okay, so we have a double stack situation. Norris is in first. Hamilton had to wait there, but it was the only option available. We are the only cars so far in the pits. Norris has got out in P5. Even better than we thought. Even better than we thought. And don't forget, when we are going to be released, we are going to be right up to the pack again. So we're going to be good here. I think we're going to be good. And plus, don't forget, conserving our tyres here also gets us that little bit of longevity. We might be able to get to the end of these hards. Possibly, if there's another safety car. So I think this is a good bet.
Just be careful with this.
I think this is a good bet. Let's speed this up now because we have made our pit stop and we're quite happy. So you're going to predict 2 more safety cars in this race.
So safety car is
It's a very quick safety car. These, look at the carnage here. What is happening? We're going to go all out attack now.
Just push it.
Going to go all out attack now, folks. This is it. Here we go. Lando Norris is in P5. We're riding on board with our lead car here. Hello, Hauler. Welcome. Okay. And let me know what you think of this kind of ad hoc stream kind of strategy. You like it? Because I play football on a Thursday, usually quite late, so I can do this a lot of Thursdays. You know, an ad hoc stream or a kind of impromptu stream round about the same time. Most Thursdays, to be honest with you. Right, we're off and racing anyway. So full speed ahead here. Lando Norris is in 5th position on hard tyres. The cars ahead of him. Let's look at the tyres. They're on worn mediums. So all of these cars here have the same tyre that we were on. Now we're on fresh tyres now. Even though they are hard, they're fresh. So we should be able to maybe scythe our way through the field here. Hamilton, is he dropping a position or is he making up a position?
McLaren with a great overtake.
He looks like he's maybe dropping to side. I don't know. I can't tell. I think he's overtaking. I think he's overtaking. So he's overtaking Sainz. Hamilton up to 6. Norris is up to P4. Russell is in 3rd position. And we're just, we were looking up the inside there. We put a nose in front there. We did. Getting our elbows out. Come on, Lando. We don't have to go into. We don't have to push too hard on the ERS here. We'll save the ERS and be strategic with it. We'll use it on the straights and stuff rather than just using it throughout the whole lap. We'll use overtake rather than deploy. It's more effective for overtaking. But yeah, I'm quite satisfied with this strategy here. I think it's going to work out very well indeed. Welcome to the past, Hauler. Right, okay, so we should be able to get past here potentially. although we don't have DRS at the moment. I was hoping that we might get a better drive off the final corner with the more grippier tyres, but it seems like we're a bit too far back here. Not all streams need to be two plus hours. Yeah, but the funny thing is this will probably be 2 hours or an hour and 40 minutes for this F1 manager. But for things like, you know, rather than doing a plain old recorded session of, say, whatever the other game's called, Contraband Police, you know, just a quick hour and a half stream of it, rather than like a full 3 hour stream of it on a Thursday. Not all the time, but it's just easier for me. And you know, the age of recorded videos on YouTube, I don't know, is it dead? Potential? No, it's not dead, is it? But this just helps with progress as well, in terms of keeping pace with the series. If I can do this, I will still do the occasional recorded video. Tends to be better quality because you can edit the sound and stuff and record in a higher bit rate. But anyway, so we are just waiting for DRS essentially to open up, and then we are ready to pass these slow suckers. Alonso hasn't got DRS on Alonso, so he should be a sitting duck for us when we do get it. Norris will have a bit more of a tricky time because Russell is still going to get DRS from Gasly, so you know, that kind of age-old train scenario will be a thing. We'll see. But we'll ride off board for now. So the grid has been severely mixed up simply because of safety cars, differing strategies. We've got Leclerc in the lead, yet to stop. Gasly, Russell, yet to stop. We've got Norris in fourth, who has stopped. And look at this. Oh, and now they stop under full race conditions.
DRS enabled.
Now, I don't mean to be too critical on other teams for whichever strategies they decide to want to do, but if you are going to stop at this point, you might as well have stopped under the safety car. If you haven't stopped under the safety car, then you should be going at least another 10 laps longer, not like 2. Makes no sense. Hamilton has overtaken Alonso. Let's watch it because we missed it.
Now just take a look at the McLaren.
It should have been quite easy. Yeah, just a DRS manoeuvre.
And they get past.
Helped with fresher tyres.
I think it's safe to say that went down.
So we are now into P2 and P4. Leclerc is still yet to stop, and we are already on the back of him like a rash. Russell is in third. He's yet to stop. Hamilton is up into fourth. I'm telling you, I think we've pulled a strategic masterstroke. Not that we needed to. We have the raw pace today, it seems, and our nearest rival's wiped himself out, or got wiped out, one or the other. So we didn't really need to do anything too out there, but this is definitely the quicker strategy. Even with safety cars at this point, we've got it covered. In fact, a safety car coming out round about lap 35-40 would be perfect for us. But even without a safety car, it's still fine. So we've got it covered, I think. We've got it covered from all angles. As Lando Norris is looking right up the jacksie here of Leclerc. He's passing him. He's passing him right now. He ain't waiting for the straight. He's like, get out of my way. I'm going now. And Hamilton in P4. He's got Russell for company, but how long will that last? As he
with a great overtake.
He's going to get DRS now. Let's ride on board. Fresh tyres, DRS. He's been given the order to put his foot down, and put his foot down he will. I mean, he might come into the pits right now, but we'll see. Making our life a bit easier if he does. Here we go. Here we go. He's not going into the pits, but we are out braking him and going around the outside, and we should get a nice drive off this one. I think Russell may well get DRS.
Such an awesome job, mate.
No, he hasn't. We've got it. We're fine. Oh, he'll get it here. He'll get it here, but he won't pass us. We've got it covered. We've got it covered. He will get DRS now. Yes, he will, but we've got it covered, I think. I think. Ooh, have we? Oh, he's going to get... Oh, I think... Oh, just stay behind. What are you doing? What? Don't get too frisky. Don't get too excited on your warm mediums, pal. Just stay right where you are. There we go. Oh, we've made it stick. That's fine. So Norris, let's have a look at the strategy. Look at that! Our tyres can even last until the end of this race. So we could go to the end on this tyre. We can put on a set of softs if we want. Safety car, no safety car. We've got it covered. We've got everything covered. Every angle, we've got it covered. If there's an early safety car within the next 10 laps, we go to the end on the hards. Because we'll conserve them, we'll go to the end. If there's a safety car to the back end of the race, we stick on a set of softs. If there's no more safety cars, that's when it becomes interesting. Because we can either stay out until the end, or put on a set of softs. We've got the choice at that point. So we have got everything covered, nice and simple. Norris is going to turn down now, because he's over a second ahead. And Hamilton just has to get past Leclerc, which should be something that happens very shortly.
And save fuel from now, please. Save fuel from now.
Yeah, confirm.
Just have to be careful. Yeah, we can be careful once. Oh, he's going into the pits, which means we now turn down. Turn down. We, depending on how far ahead we are of the opposition, towards the back end of the race, we can even go into conserve with the tyres, so we can make them last. We can make them last. Hamilton's pretty good on his tyres as well, so that helps. But Norris I'd say that Norris has been the car that's been ahead for more often than Hamilton has in this race. So Norris has got some very good pace here. We'll see how quick Hamilton catches Norris to see whether or not he actually has got better pace overall, or whether it was DRS that was helping last time. We'll see. But is it legal to switch positions to gain DRS? Yes, it's perfectly legal. I'm not sure how much benefit you would get from it, to be honest with you, because if you're both swapping positions, and you end up tripping over each other anyway, which just end up slowing each other down, really. So, yeah, certain strategies can be employed when it comes to DRS, but that's mainly in qualifying that these kind of things happen. You know, getting toes and stuff. But anyway, so we're on lap 23. We're not even halfway through this race. I don't even know how long we've been going for right now, but yeah, we'll go for as long as we need to. This is the beauty of this game, or not, as the case may be. It's, you know, these races are full race distance, and usually can't be sped up because things are happening. And I don't, you know me when it comes to speeding things up. Not a big fan. I don't do these wild and wonderful speeds. Let's play CK2 on 5 speed. No! What? Are you crazy, man? I can't think that quickly. So I'm playing football today at 8:30. And so Hamilton is quicker. He's caught quite quickly with a bit of DRS. Don't get me wrong, but still, nonetheless, he's back on. He's back on. We're back into the switching positions game. And we got a 4-second gap. 4.7. Let's keep an eye on that and see if we are pulling away. 4.6. We'll see. We'll just keep an eye on this one as Perez and Sainz are battling. As I said, keep an eye on Sainz in this race. He could be the surprise package. Crashed back of the grid, having to prepare his car, come in, get new tyres on. Despite all of that, he's in P4. Bona fide P4. His tyres are a bit worn for this point in the race, granted, but he's in P4. Who the hell are you? Sebastian Vettel. P5. Bona fide P5 for the 4-time world champion in an Alpha Tauri. Ocon in P6. The grid has had a royal shake-up. Leclerc, because of the situation, slap bang down in 12th. Poor strategy call from Ferrari to bring him in, not under the safety car. All of the cars ahead of him are unlikely to pit again, apart from maybe Sainz. So this is a horrendous decision. Hence why we pitted under the safety car. So anyway, the reason why I was talking about football, I'm going to keep you guys abreast of my football shenanigans now, because I'm 40, right? I'm 40 last Wednesday. And I've been thinking to myself, you know, as much as I like to think I'm still that 26-year-old, I'm not, clearly, I'm not. And I'm still fit and healthy, I still work out, I still eat healthily, I'm still a healthy weight, I've put a few pounds on, like 4 pounds last week because it's my birthday week, but I'm still 13 stone dead, getting down to 12.10 eventually. So I'm still pretty nimble on my feet, I've still got a decent turner pace, but, you know, not as quick as I used to be, clearly. And I'm just thinking to myself, and it's maybe because, you know, it's a team game as well, don't forget, but we've not been performing as great as we have been in the past as a team. And I'm thinking to myself, am I just losing my touch a bit? So I'm trying, now that I've turned 40, I've made a conscious effort to do all I can in my power to ensure that I'm in tip-top condition for football every time I play. And don't get me wrong, I think also it hasn't helped that I haven't played football as regularly as I have been in the past. Normally I play 3 times a week, but because of Ramadan and because of cancellations and stuff, I've been playing football once a week, which clearly doesn't help for match fitness. So I think that once we start to pick up and start playing more regularly again, aka 3 times a week, I think I'll be fine. Yeah, anyway. So I'm basically trying to do everything in my power to be as top shape for football as possible, which includes, after the stream, I'm going to do a warm-up. Just a little 10-minute warm-up, stretch myself out a bit of light cardio in my bedroom, and get myself nice and ready. About an hour before football, I'm going to eat a nice little bit of eggs medley. Get some protein, a bit of energy. Not too unhealthy. Just a nice little bit of air. You know, like I used to make when I was on the Health and Fitness Challenge. Just a bit of air, boiled egg, mash it up, a bit of smoked paprika, a little bit of cheese, a bit of salad cream. Mix it together. Nice little egg, like an egg medley. Almost like an egg mayonnaise that you would put in a sandwich, without the bread. So I'll have that first. Then I'll do my warm up for 10 minutes. About 20 minutes before I'm due to set off. And then I'm going to set off and go and get down there early, rather than getting there last minute like I always do. If football's at 8, kickoff's at 8, I'll be there at 7:58 because I've got things to do. I don't want to be waiting around. So I'll get there at 7:58 so I can get straight on and play. Clearly no. Get there early so I can get into the zone, the mental zone. I'm there early, not rushing to get there in the car, thinking, oh, I'm late again, I'm going to go, Aim to get there at 7:58. If you've got any roadworks or any issues on the roads, a bit of a problem, puts a bit of stress on me. But, it's fine. So now I'm going to get down there early. Get there 10 minutes before the game's due to start, maybe 15 even. So that I can just get there, chilled, at my leisure, and then even continue a little bit of a warm-up whilst I'm waiting. Then get on the pitch, finish off my warm-up, and then I'm mentally in the zone then. I've eaten well, I've got there early, I haven't stressed about it, I've warmed up, I've stretched off, then I play. And I'm going to try this out for the next month, up until I go on holiday, back end of June, to see if that actually makes a difference. Even if it's just for my mentally makes a difference. I come off thinking, you know what, I played really well there. I might not have done, but if in my mind it's made a difference, I shall continue it on as a means to see if I'm still good enough, basically. Last week we played a team that consisted of, I think, at least 2 semi-professionals. One of them I played for Guiseley, and Guiseley are a semi-professional team, and they were really good. They beat us 5-2, 6-2 maybe. And there was one guy, and I'm a very good defender, and people don't usually dance past me. Doesn't happen at all. And he did twice. Wrong-footed me. Now the second time we were already losing, so I wasn't putting in the most effort. The first time I went this way and he was going that way. Oh, what the hell happened there? His feet were like flipping lightning, but he was at least 20, 21, I'm double his age, and he was, he's played at a decent level of football, so, But it made me feel inadequate. It made me feel quite inadequate. I thought, in all of my time playing football, not many people have managed to make me look like a sloth. I'm 6'2" with a long stride. But anyway, we'll see what happens. So today we're playing a team that's mid-table. If they've got their semi-professional playing for them, they'll be hard to beat. If they don't, then we should beat them, really. So we'll see. So I shall report back in the Discord server around about 9:30 as to how my football endeavours have gone today, and we shall see. Got to get early. Volleyball, 50 minutes early to stretch warm up, get the blood flowing. It's true. It's true, Chris. It's true. When you're a young whippersnapper, in your 30s, even at 39 even, we're pulling away from Perez, aren't we? It's good to see. You kind of, you can get away with a lot of things because, hey, you're young, you can do, I don't have to warm up me, I just turn up and kick a ball about and walk, it comes easy. And, as you get older, it'll become quite so easy. I have to put a bit of effort in now to warm up properly. I'm playing on 3G, yes. I refuse to play on hard surfaces. I used to play on hard gym floors. That's how my knees and ankles have got knackered over the years, is playing on unforgiving surfaces. So the 3G is much more forgiving, better on your knees and your ankles. So that's what I play on now. So to finish off the football conversation, I have one goal. I've achieved many things in football. I have won many trophies, as you've seen in the streams in the past, and the party streams that I've showed you my trophy collection, including league titles and league and cups and personal accolades such as Player of the Season several times, and even managed as a defender to get top goal scorer. I wanted to get top goal scorer at least once in my entire footballing career, and I got it about 3 seasons ago. And I was like, yes, I've got the full set. I've got Player of the Season. I've got top goal scorer once and only once in 10 years of playing. No, 2010 I started playing, so 13 years of competitive football. So I'm happy. I've got it as a defender. I'll never get it again. I don't want to get it again. I'm quite happy now. So yeah. But I said to myself as I turned 40, I just want to win Player of the Season once more in my 40s, just once. If I never win it again after that, I don't care. Just one more time, just once. So on the Thursday league, which is today's league, I'm joint top for man of the matches. So they determine Player of the Season. What they do is the referee gives a man of the match after every game. And the player that has the most man of the matches, or the top 2 or 3, go to a vote, and they vote on who the player of the season is. The referees and the team secretaries or whatever, I think it is. So on Thursday, I think, last time I checked was about 2 weeks ago, to be fair, but I had 3 man of the matches this season, and I think there was another 2 or 3 people on 3, and that was it. There was nobody on 4 at that time. So I'm potentially in it for this Thursday season. And we've got 4 games. I think we've got 3 games left. So if I can just get one more in these next 3 games, I'm in the vote. So I don't think I've had a good season personally. That's just my opinion. But I'm still just about in there. So we'll see what happens. But I just want to win it once more in my 40s, and then I can be happy. So I won't be winning it in my 50s, will I? Let's be honest. Unless I'm playing a walking football league or something. Anyway, so as we're watching our drivers drive around, and I'm not even paying attention, to be honest with you. You can watch as you want. But I'm not speeding it up whilst they are battling for position. Nagisa, you talked about Harry Potter, and you're on the 3rd book. You mentioned that the fact that Harry's got a bit more sass in the books than the films. I do not like the films at all. I read the books first, and if you read the books first and then you watch the films afterwards, you're not going to like the films, because the films can only put so much into them, can't they? And they have to cut stuff out, whereas the book can go into the great details that the films can't. So the books are far, far better. The series that's supposed to be coming to, was it Netflix or HBO? I can't remember. I think HBO. That's proposed. Not that I'm overly happy about more Harry Potter things coming out, but I'm sure a series can do it more often. No, sorry, do it more often. Can do it more justice, because you've got more time to play with, you see. So that's one positive with it. But I don't know if I'll watch it or not, to be honest. But anyway, yes. So I am on Order of the Phoenix, because I've been listening to the audiobooks by Jim Dale. I really like them. So I've been listening to them over the past month, and I'm on to book 5 now, which is my favourite book of the series. I think I've said it before, but yeah, Order of the Phoenix is my favourite book of the series. So I'm listening to that right now. I'm on, I think, the 5th chapter, and enjoying it. So yeah, I'm going to listen to the entire series, and then I'm going to play the game. Yeah, maybe. I refined my list of games to play yesterday, and when I refined it and looked at the games that I want to really play, not the games that I'm kind of 50-50 about playing, the games that I really want to play, I was like, this is a long list. This is a long list. And the thing is, I want to play Baldur's Gate 3 on release, and it's coming out in August. So I don't want to get tied down with another RPG between now and then. So as much as I want to play Harry Potter, I don't think I can, because Harry Potter's quite a long game. I was tempted to start playing Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous, because we're going to start playing Starfinder, pen and paper, in a couple of weeks' time. And as soon as I start playing a pen and paper RPG, I get the massive urge to play an RPG on the computer. And Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous is a tabletop game on the computer, effectively. You know, it's a very, very, very good recreation of the rule set. So I'm like, oh, now would be a good time to play Wrath of the Righteous. Wrath of the Righteous, rather. But I'm going to resist. So I don't know. Darkest Dungeon. I watched Darkest Dungeon. Christopher Odd is somebody that I like to watch occasionally if I want to get somebody that plays in a kind of a similar manner and is not too over the top and stuff. And I watched his first episode of Darkest Dungeon. And it's interesting because it's a completely different concept to the first game, isn't it? Completely different concept. You still have the fights and stuff, but it's just the way that the game works with the stagecoach situation, driving the stagecoach around. I mean, I don't know anything about the game. I've not even seen it until yesterday. So I'm kind of torn, really, but apparently it's still pretty good according to some of the reviews and some of the comments I've seen, so I will get it, but it seemed rather interesting. There's less characters. I think your roster size is much smaller this time, because don't forget, last time the roster size was massive. We had loads of characters. I think what the general impression that I got was that the roster size was going to be a lot smaller, which isn't a bad thing, actually, for retain, because if you're going to be playing as the characters, then I don't think having too many is good, because people don't end up turning up for the streams, you see, all the time. So yeah, we'll see. But yeah, it's looking it's looking interesting. But I will check it out. But I think before we play, and I think Chris is here, before we play Darkest Dungeon, I think we need to play Wildermyth, because Wildermyth is going to be an interactive kind of RPG experience too, and I would prefer to play that first because that's the older game. I've got that. So, yeah. An update on a video update, yeah. Keep your audio. You see, I don't know myself. That's the thing. I debated whether to finish all of these games roughly at the same time, and then decide what I'm going to do next. But we'll see. Right, we're on at 33:51. It's 6:30. I started the stream at 5:15, so we've been an hour and 15 minutes. I reckon we could go for another 25 minutes yet, which I don't think is excessive. And these guys are battling for race victory here. Norris just seems to have the upper hand. I mean, Hamilton has been passing, don't get me wrong, but every time I look at the screen, Norris is the one in front. Let's have a look at look at that. We've got plenty of tyre wear available here. I don't think we're going to stop for soft tyres here. I think we can make it to the end quite happily. We're pulling away from Perez quite easily there. Sainz has got more worn tyres than Perez, so he's going to find it hard to pass. Vettel is still there. Bottas, Ocon, Albon. Leclerc is making his way through the field. He was down in 12th, I think. He's up now to P8 by the looks of it. Is he going to make the pass before the corner? Yes, he is. DRS open. And nicely does it. He's now in P8. Next up on his list, and 4 seconds down the road, Ocon, who was actually battling with Bottas and has now passed Bottas. Interesting. Okay, so look at the Mercedes, man. This is even worse than real life. Is that possible? 12th and 13th. Holy cow. Oh my god, it's painful to see. I think Potter's going to make a transfer next season. You've got to wait for BG3. Yeah, that's a good. Yeah, that's very true about Darkest Dungeon as well. Okay, so it has 12 different heroes and you choose 4 to take on each run. Okay, that's interesting. So it's not. Yeah, okay. They've got the same narrator guy. The same narrator guy, haven't they? The voice. The man with the voice. I reckon we could squeeze Wildermyth in before and finish it before August. How long is Wildermyth? June, July, August. 3 months? 1 session a week? 1 stream a week? I don't know how long the game is. I haven't looked. If it's less than 20 hours, that's definitely doable. If it's more, then possibly not. But it could actually be a side series, though. It could replace Contraband Police. Clearly, Three Kingdoms Total War is replacing CK2, which just leaves this game that needs a replacement. But we could play something kind of shorter to put us on until August. Maybe something like Plague Tale Requiem or something. Yeah, interesting. So we've got 16 laps to go. Oh, there are a few campaigns. Oh, different. Oh, so we could do it. Oh, we could almost like do it in seasons then, couldn't we? Like a season thing. Yeah. I'll debate these things. So, yes, we're coming up now to the final stages of the race. Oh, good old busts. Those were the days. So Hamilton. See, Norris is ahead again. Hamilton ahead this time. Can you imagine if they crash into it? I shouldn't have said it, should I? I shouldn't have said it. Why do I do this to myself? Have I not learned not to open my mouth when it comes to these kind of things? As soon as I spit the words out, it happens. Just like yesterday. Was it yesterday or when was the stream? Monday? When literally I said something and it happened bang on cue. It wasn't the CK2 stream. Literally, the words had barely left my mouth and what I said had happened. Plague Inc. as a vampire plague. What? Plague Inc. This is what you don't get when you're recording videos on your own or if you're doing a private stream. You don't get any conversation. I mean, it keeps you on track. It keeps you focused, I suppose. No distractions. But I don't think I've dithered today. I'm talking now because we're in a race and there's not much happening. But I haven't flim-flammed at the start. I went straight into talking about qualifying. So if it's a formal stream, flim-flam aplenty. If it's a stream like this that I'm just doing live because I don't want to be sat on my own talking into a microphone because I want some entertainment, then you know we can talk when it's downtime, but otherwise we're going to be focused on the job. All right. Looks a bit misty. Looks a bit flipping misty. Are we getting any rain? No, it's bright sunshine apparently. It looks misty. Perez is now almost 10 seconds behind. If this was Max Verstappen, this wouldn't be happening, would it? He would be keeping pace with it, I think. Sainz can't get past. Is he going to make it on his tyres, though? 51%. I think he'll make it. Just about. Leclerc, is he caught up to that train? Yes, Leclerc has. Leclerc is the man making the moves right now. Maybe we'll ride on board with Leclerc for a bit. Bit of drama here. We could actually turn the tyres down of our guys, ask them to stop pushing a little bit. In fact, we will do that. Let's just go light on the tyres. On both cars to make it fair. Just to make sure we get to the end. But let's see if Leclerc can make any moves. He's going to struggle a little bit because DRS train syndrome is going to happen right now. But we'll see. We're on board. Where the drama is. It all depends what's happening with CK2 because we had a very clear, predetermined end goal for this season, and now it's kind of being kiboshed with the unexpected twist at the end of the last session. It's kind of scuppered our plans a slight bit, but we'll see. Did you ever read the Series of Unfortunate Events books as a kid? No. Okay. So, whilst we're watching Leclerc try to pass two cars, did I tell you? I think I might have told you on Monday. But my delightful colleagues, my team really, because I'm the manager, of course, pulled out all the stops and got me a lovely card with all signatures in it that they all signed, which is right here, actually. We've got all the signatures in it, you see. Little card, little badge on it that I didn't wear clearly. Don't want to parade that around. Look at me, I'm 40 today. I'm an old man. No, but and then one of my team members got me a card just from her, which I thought was really, really nice of her. And she got me, and she gave me something wrapped up. And I thought, you got me a present as well. I said, oh my god. So yeah, my team got me 3 bottles of rum. I think I mentioned that last time on the stream on Monday. But she got me this book. Now I can't see the preview screen, so bear with me. But it's called the Ladybird Book of the Midlife Crisis. You see that? I like how it's got like really old-fashioned cars on it. I mean, even I wasn't born when these cars were on the road, to be honest. These are 70s vehicles. But anyway, it starts like this. The Ladybird Books for Grown-Ups series. The Midlife Crisis. Alright? When we are young, We all dream of doing something wonderful and exciting with our lives. What will we be? A cosmonaut? An underwater detective? A Tommy gunner? A groin surgeon? F1 driver? Anything is possible. And then one day, it isn't. That's as much as I've read of this book so far. I dread not read on. But with you, I shall read the second page and brave it. Okay? So you've got these high hopes, and then one day, you realise you're past it. And it's too late to be a professional footballer. You know, it's too late to be a Formula 1 driver. Your time's gone. Yeah? Time to start knitting and crocheting. Maybe take up some golf. Jason's midlife crisis started one Sunday morning in B&Q. For those of you not in the UK, B&Q is a hardware store. When he spotted a tub of boat varnish. I will never own a boat, he thought to himself. Jason has never wanted to own a boat, but now, not owning one is all he can think about. I might have to read this entire book. At this point, I'm invested now. Leclerc's up into 7th position, and we are still 1st and 2nd. Gwen has a 2-1 in ancient history. She always planned to write a series of novels about Boadicea, or Boudica? Boadicea, the history woman. The woman from the history books. You know, Boadicea. Gwen has covered in applesauce and has spent this afternoon clapping. Because she's got a kid, you see. I don't have that problem. I'm going to write a series of novels. No, I'm not. I'm going to be puked on and I'm going to clap. Happy birthday to... Yeah, that's what she's been reduced to. Midlife crisis, you see. Jeff did not think of himself as having a midlife crisis until he realised that the people starting university this year were born when he was 25. Yeah. I have that problem with some of my viewers. Jeff has come to the Arctic Circle to hunt and kill a whale. Midlifers like to count how fast time is passing because it helps them to panic. I've mentioned time passing quickly recently. It's incredible, says Vivian. The gap between now and the first Beastie Boys album is thusly the same as the gap between that album and Elvis's first LP. Help me please, sobs Vivian. Somebody make it stop. Joe's body used to agree with him. I used to agree that his shirt fitted. Or it used to agree that his shirt fitted, and that he could manage another pint. That he would be awake when the train reached his station. And that he had finished weeing. Now, Joe's body disagrees with all of these things. I have noticed that I am going to the toilet a bit more often, and that's not a lie. My body's still in decent shape, though. I'm quite happy to report. Philip, what a lovely picture that is. Have you seen that? Philip has a recurring dream where he is an overstuffed dummy on a blazing bonfire. Anything else happen in this race? Not yet. And Leclerc is struggling to pass Bottas. Philip has a recurring dream that he is an overstuffed dummy on a blazing bonfire. Children point at him and laugh. Look at him, they say. He is fat and hopeless. Burn him! That's all he's good for. At least he can keep us warm. Philip does not burn. He cannot even do that properly. After his divorce, Nick sold his sensible car and bought a coupe. A convertible coupe, according to the picture. Midlife crisis. I'm going to give him my Ford Fiesta and I'm going to buy... What could I buy as a midlife crisis kind of car? Maybe a Ford Fiesta ST is a midlife crisis kind of car. Clinging onto my boy racer hood? I don't know. Maybe. Anyway, in 10 years' time, Nick will look back at pictures of himself and the lady, as he's called his car, and realise that he looked an astonishing knob. Yeah. In a war, people do not have midlife crises. They are much too grateful to be alive. At this airfield, midlifers can have a wartime fantasy day. They can fly a Spitfire and even do a loop-the-loop. For an extra fee, they can be shot down by authentic Luftwaffe aircraft and killed. Many people find this helps. Phil does not regret leaving his wife, growing his hair and starting to wear cowboy boots. If he had not done that, he would never have met Megan. As long as Phil avoids making cultural references from before 1990, never reveals he has a Blue Yonder email address and tries not to have a heart attack, he and the much younger Megan could have a great future. Okay, I admit that I have lied. This should be the kind of thing I disclose on a party stream under the influence of alcohol. But I've thought it now. I can be honest with you guys. But I have shaved a few years off some of my dating profiles, and I have been known to dye the grey hairs from my beard. I don't do it anymore because I've come to terms with it now. But last year I may have done these things. Yes. Anyway, moving swiftly on. Growing up brings responsibility. For example, having a family to support can be very expensive. I don't have that problem. Fortunately, by midlife, most people find they are earning a little more money than they did when they were younger, which can also be spent on bigger versions of all the toys they wanted when they were 6. Yeah, I agree. The more money you earn, the more you spend it on crap. Kathy's youngest left home last year. Kathy has more time for herself now to see old friends. A friend came round with some old school photographs. I was beautiful, thought Kathy to herself when she saw the pictures. Nobody said. Kathy has started an affair with the man at the cooker showroom. Now, I admit, I've looked at pictures of myself from just 10 years ago, and I actually think I look better now than I did 10 years ago, to be honest. I was more overweight back then, I had a chubbier face. If you look at my update videos from 2012, and it looks like Leclerc has finally got this move to stick, has he? He has. Yeah, I think I'm much healthier now, I've lost weight, beards are clearly in fashion. I think I look better. That's my opinion. Oh, it's just... Sorry about that, Leclerc. You've been repassed. Yeah. And who the hell is that? That's Gasly now is overtaking him back again. It goes from bad to worse for Leclerc. He's right in the mire. Anyway, let's have a look at the times. Vettel 11 seconds. He's still in 5th though. This could be a high position finish for Sebastian Vettel here. Perez hasn't actually pulled any. We haven't pulled away any more from Perez. He was 9 seconds before, but don't forget we have turned down our tyre pushing. That's probably why he's keeping up with us. But it's working wonders because we've got plenty of life left in them as we continue to drive around. We'll stick on board with Lando for now. And hello, Crazy Canuck, welcome. We're just going through the Midlife Crisis Ladybird book. Basically, it's telling me some home truths. So yeah, Kathy is basically is having an affair now. She's letting it all hang out. Frank is 41. He has been to a record shop. I mean, clearly this is an old book, I suppose. Been to HMV. He has rebought all the music he liked when he was young, but on the most inconvenient possible format. He also asked a 22-year-old behind the counter what new records were good. He bought everything she recommended because she had amazing hair. He hates all the new records, but not as much as he hates himself. Paul recently bought a shark tooth necklace. Ray has spent the morning bidding on a leather biker jacket. Last night, Charlie googled local triathlons. They're now talking about cutting their family holiday short next year and going to Glastonbury together instead. We could lie and say it's a conference, says Ray. Yeah. And then we turn to Sally. Sally has tried lots of things to make herself feel younger. Running, glamping, Pilates, adult colouring books, a mummy makeover, Bikram planking, platonic irrigation, and having inappropriate relationship with a rangy 20-something intern called Zeb, who has 3 beards and a Lego earring. Sally has given up and is now thinking of joining the National Trust. God, this is depressing. This is what I've got to look forward to. I'm looking for a younger model. Zeb, yeah. Oh, we've maxed out on the top speed front. There. The car bottom almost can't go any quicker. We've got 6 laps to go, folks. Can I finish this book? Duncan bought a second-hand bicycle using money he got for his 38th birthday. 3 years later, he is competing in the Tour de France on a bike that cost more than the deposit for his first flat. Duncan has forgotten what he's trying to prove. I mean, to be fair, if he's competing in the Tour, he's done a good job if you ask me. And then we turn to Tom, who is fed up. The band he was in at college played a reunion show at the football club bar last week, and they were rubbish. The evening cost him over £140 in drinks, taxis and babysitters. Tom has now put his Les Paul copy guitar on eBay. It looks like he's taking up to doing some writing instead. Jerry is explaining his wishes to his barber. Jerry's cut involves layers, dyes and 4 separate thickening products. But it is worth it. In the end, Jerry will have a full head of hair if viewed face on and not from behind or above. Out of direct sunlight and away from high winds. I don't have that problem actually. I've got a good head of hair. In fact, it's a nightmare keeping it short. No bald patches. In fact, my dad was never bald, so I don't think I'm going to go bald. I don't have that issue, thankfully, or a receding hairline either. So I'm hopefully blessed in that front. Mark's partner, Trina, has just called to say the PTA meeting is running late. Eat without me, she says. Mark rings off quickly. He feels guilty. Even though Trina cannot possibly know he has spent the last 3 hours on Facebook looking for old photos of girls he was at school with. Oh dear. Susie is at the hairdresser's. She wants to look good because tonight she is going to a gabba all-nighter under a railway arch with her estranged daughter. Dye it blue, please, says Susie, who looks like she's clearly in her 40s as well. Susie is wondering what bra will best show off her new tattoo. Susie, Susie, Susie. Oh, now this is a good one. Listen to this, folks. On the way back from this lads' weekend, Jim will be cautioned at Schiphol Airport, Amsterdam, for possession of marijuana. Now, I was clever enough to finish mine before I got to the airport, clearly. The 2 police officers will be half his age. It will be the first marijuana Jim has possessed in 2 decades. Oh dear, Jim. Clearly, you need to get your thinking cap on, old-timer. Amanda is 40 and childless. She spends most of her evenings at bars and clubs, meeting people who are 10 years younger than her, and applying lots of forgiving filters to photos of herself she posts on Instagram. Soon, she will buy a cat. Okay, Norris is passing here. Who will be ahead on the final lap? The drama. Perez is catching us whilst we're conserving tyres here. And Leclerc is still in 7th. Can't get past Vettel. Oh, Bottas has passed Vettel? Oh, that's a shame. Oh, no. Brendan is exhausted. Today he has run 4 miles in his new vintage Dunlop Green Flash trainers, cycled 10 miles, done a Zumba class, flirted with his PA and spent the evening looking up various aches and lumps on the internet in case they are early signs of cancer or diabetes. He will sleep until 3 a.m. when he will be woken by anxiety dreams about a 23-year-old graduate who can do almost everything he does for half the money. Is it legal in the UK yet? No. Now, when I was Googling the legalities of marijuana in Amsterdam, or it might be my friend that Googled it actually, because she was rather bizarrely, for somebody that doesn't use a phone that often, she became like the walking tour guide. Every site that we went to, she Googled the history of it, and I'm like, this is not what you normally do. She went, it must be the weed. She was just fascinated by everything. Anyway, so she was Googling the situation with possession of
4 laps to go.
Of marijuana, to give its proper term, cannabis, in Amsterdam. And she read, now how true this is I don't know, but it's not fully legal. In some places it's fully legal. In Amsterdam it's classed as tolerated, which means you can possess small quantities for personal possession. You can obviously use it in a public place, but not go blowing it in kids' faces. So it's kind of tolerated rather than. Oh, is he pit? I thought he was going to make it to the end. He has pit. Yeah. He's probably put on soft tyres though, or maybe a fresh set of softs. Oh, a used set of softs. Is he going to make any big train there to get past? That's going to be tricky for him. So it's tolerated now. But then she said, "Oh," and she listed the countries where it was legal. Canada, I think it's fully legal. Somewhere else in South America, Ecuador, or some South American country, and Mexico. And and then her face lit up, because where are we going on holiday in November? Mexico. And I swear to God, I did not realise it was that cannabis was fully legal in Mexico. I did not even have a clue until she Googled countries where it was legal, and she was like, "Aha! Our trip to Mexico has just got a lot more fun." Anyway, we're coming to the end of this book. In fact, this is the last page. Colin spent his redundancy money on the loudest motorcycle he could find. He has stopped at a petrol station on the way to an archive where he is researching his family tree. "You only live once," Colin says with a wink to the girl on the moped. The girl smiles back at him because he reminds her of her dad. And that endeth the book. Well, there you go. Some home truths there, folks. And some things that clearly I'm not old enough for yet. Obviously. Right, that's one to put on my bookshelf and give to my nephew in 10 years' time when he turns 40, because he's 30 now. What's even more scary than realising that you're 40 yourself is that realising that your nephew, who you remember being a baby when you were 10 and crawling around and playing games under the table, is 30. That's more scary than realising my own age, if that makes sense. But anyway, we're down to the last 2 laps. We're going to ride off board here. And I'm taking bets. Who is going to be... We're going to push for fastest lap of the race with both cars. For the final 2 laps, we're going to push for fastest lap. So, who is your money on to win this race? Even if they were legal in Mexico or wherever I end up going in any country, I would not do anything that remotely resembles hard drugs, mushrooms. I don't know what other, I'm not an expert. I'm actually in the police, so I should know some of them. But you know, it's several years have passed. There's all these weird and wonderful things, I'm sure now, that are out there on the market. You know, the black market. I wouldn't dream of doing anything like that. Oh, we've got a safety car right now. Oh, damn. Well, it looks like Hamilton is going to win this race under the safety car because we cannot pass now. What's happened now? Who's crashed now? But a serious crash on the track. It's Vettel. He was in 5th position at one point. He's got a massive train of cars that he's holding up. Look at the state of this. And he's just locked it and, oh, he's crashed. Off he goes. Oh, no. The lofty heights of being in 5th and 6th has gone to his head. Devastating. Devastation. So the safety car is out. We've got to speed this up because the safety car will last lap. Yeah, we're going to finish under the safety car. We have no choice here.
One more lap.
So Hamilton, by virtue of a safety car at the right moment, is going to ensure that we win this race in the most undramatic fashion possible. Well, you can't overtake until you're past the line, so there's no overtaking, even though the safety car is ending. So there we go. That is your final finishing positions. Hamilton wins the race, courtesy of the safety car. Norris gets 2nd, so a 1-2 for the team. Perez 3rd, Bottas 4th, Leclerc finishes his 5th, Gasly's in 6th, Ocon 7th, Russell 8th, Alonso 9th, and Sainz is in 10th in the Ferrari. A damn good result considering that we don't have top speed. I think putting the brand new engines and gearboxes in did really help out, in addition to, of course, the masterclass in strategy for the Potter team.
This is a result truly worthy of a champion for Lewis Hamilton.
So Lewis Hamilton wins another race. It was not the most exciting, but we had some drama. We had safety cars. So I mean, down in these reaches of the race will have been quite. I mean, if you're a Bottas, it's very exciting. He's finishing P4 for heaven's sake. Gasly finishing in 6th, a great result for Alfa Romeo for the constructors here. Yeah, Mercedes, day to forget, let's be honest there. And we couldn't get fastest lap because safety car came out as we're about to push for it. But anyway, so there's your driver's standings, folks. Lewis Hamilton, top of the pile now, is a whopping 53 points clear. Is this title done and dusted? He could afford to sit it out for 2 races and still not be at risk of losing the lead. Lando Norris is in 2nd, Charles Leclerc is in 3rd, Max Verstappen completely and utterly going off the rails here, down in 4th position. And the rest you can see for yourself. Constructors title, McLaren, domination here. Absolute domination. Red Bull in 2nd, Ferrari in 3rd. Disappointing for them because they've got the best car on the grid, according to the stats. So the fact that they're not even ahead of Red Bull right now, I am sure they should be quite upset with how things are going so far. So here's the I don't even know if we'll actually use the development points that we've got left over. We might well have done. But anyway, another development point for the young-ish Lando Norris right now as he continues to learn from the 7-time world champion. He's sticking with him on pace. He's doing a damn good job. He's never a million miles away in any of the races, really. I mean, clearly he's closer in some races than others, but not in some races he's a little bit off the pace compared, like, take, for example, Spain. But yeah, we are now going to Canada. It is the circuit de Gilles Villeneuve, who was a fantastically exciting driver who was killed, unfortunately, in an accident at, what was the name of the circuit? I can't remember. But it was a horrific accident, and actually I don't wish to tell you really. Yeah, it's Canada, the Canadian Grand Prix, and it's only in 4 days' time actually. So it's a quick turnaround. If you look at the car, we have got still a little bit of time to go until we get our next part. It's 9 days. So the next race after Canada, we should have side pods and suspension. This is the biggest update of the season for us. This fourth underfloor. This will give us a significant step forward, I think. This is going to seal the fate of the title, really. Not that it's already not sealed, to be fair, but this is going to completely and utterly, hopefully, leave the other cars trailing in our wake. Let's quickly speed this up to get to the race weekend. Important email. Yeah, very good. Thank you. Very good. Continue to performance targets. Right, we're done. Okay, folks. Okay, 12 more races to go, apparently, according to the calculations. So we're getting there. We're going to be doing at least 2, maybe 3 of these a week now, because I want to get this done before I go on holiday. So we're going to finish this. We're going to power our way through. So expect some more ad hoc streams like this, particularly on days where where I've got a bit of time on my hands before going to football, such as today. Maybe the occasional Tuesday or Wednesday even too. But yeah, stay tuned. Thank you for joining me at short notice this afternoon / evening. Hope you've enjoyed this. Yes, Jacques Villeneuve is his son. He was indeed. Oh, I did answer that, Louis. I did. Yes, you can swap positions to gain DRS from each other. It's completely legal. It's just not really. It's not as good as it sounds. It's not really gonna get you too much. Ultimately, if you keep swapping around, it can be useful for the car in second if they're struggling to. So let's say you've got 2 cars that don't even have to be teammates really. Well, it would help if they are teammates really, but you can have one teammate that's quicker than the other, and the second teammate is not quite as quick as the first teammate. So if he can stay in the DRS of his teammate to help him be dragged around, so that they don't fall into the clutches of the cars behind, that can be useful. But in terms of constantly swapping round, I don't think it nets much, to be honest. But anyway, I'm going to now go, and I'm going to have my egg medley to power me up for football. Then I'm going to do my exercise. Then I'm going to go play football. Then I'm going to come back and tell you how it went. Okay? Next session. Tomorrow is Friday. I can't do this on. I can't record a video for tomorrow because Friday, straight after work, I go out to my friends and have some drinks. So tomorrow's a day off. But Saturday morning, I'll record a session. It will be a recorded session rather than a stream of Contraband Police, followed by another session of Contraband Police on Sunday, and then which is a full proper stream, and then Monday full stream of CK2. So that's the schedule for the next sort of 3 to 4 days. So enjoy the rest of your week, folks, the rest of your day, and hopefully catch some of you on Sunday for some Contraband Police. But until next time, folks, another successful race weekend done and dusted. Until then, see you soon. Actually, should we have some flipping? Let me save it and put some damn music on, shall we? Hey dear.